It's the butt of the joke in countless movies like this one. Well, now 2 real-life teenagers have been busted for putting their bare bottoms on the faces of 2 schoolmates who were not obviously laughing. And these 2 14-year-olds are being labeled now as sex offenders for the rest of their life. But did the long arm of the law reach too far in this one? Joining us for a debate is criminal defense attorney David Schwartz and former prosecutor Joey Jackson. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here.
Morning.
So these 2 14-year-old boys held down their 12-year-old schoolmates, and they put their bare bottoms on these kids' heads. Obviously, this goes beyond harmless horseplay. But does it rise to the level of where they should be labeled for life as sex offenders? What do you think, David?
Absolutely not. That is ridiculous. I mean, you know, we have 700,000 sex offenders in this country. We have 100,000 sex offenders that we can't find anymore. Now we're going to create new categories for kids that aren't fully developed yet. Absolutely should be given a second chance. There should be counseling here, but to label a child a sex offender for life is a ridiculous precedent.
Ridiculous, Joey? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. Well, first of all, let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, let's not be so dismissive of the conduct. I think horseplay, I mean, if you want to talk about that, we could talk about melting crayons on the radiator. You know, we could talk about, people chasing each other and doing spitballs. But sitting on the face of a 12-year-old with your bare bottom is certainly inappropriate. Second point, look, the legislature determines what's appropriate for registration. Judges do not. The fact of the matter is that the legislature designing the law indicated that if you're 14 years old, if you're 15, 16, whatever it is, you can be labeled a sex offender. The third point is they will be low-level sex offenders. And finally, Allison, they can make application after a period of time to be removed from the registry.
25
okay,
years.
let me.
15.
15 years?
15.
Okay, that's a long time. Let me read you an excerpt from Megan's law, the law that you're referring to, Joey. A sex offense shall include the following: aggravated sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual contact, kidnapping, or an attempt to commit any of these crimes. Obviously, those are more heinous crimes than what it sounds like we're talking about here. David, this law was designed to keep kids away from predators. Are these kids predators?
Absolutely. When people think of the sex offense violations in this country, when people think of Megan's Law, they think of the most violent in our society. They think of the people that we need to really watch out for. They don't think of 14-year-olds playing a prank that went way out of control and certainly rose to the level of a crime. But to register them as sex offenders for life is just a precedent that makes no common sense, and it defies logic.
2 things, David. First of all, again, you have the legislature. The legislature enacted the law. In the event that they felt that there should be an exception for this type of conduct, they would have created it. As a result of that, the appellate court, who heard this issue, made the assessment that they need to register. The other thing we have to hold into account, and we need viewers to know this, there are 3 levels of sex offenders. The one level that they will be classified as is a tier 1, is the lowest level. The only one who will get notification as to their registry are law enforcement, not 2-level or 3-level, where the universe and the internet will be notified.
Joey, it's our job to challenge the legislature. It's our job to challenge the laws that are illogical, unconstitutional, and make no logical sense.
So write your congressman, write your state representative, but the law is the law.
You got it, gentlemen. And the offenders are trying to appeal their sentences in this case, so we will keep the viewers posted. Thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure, Allison.
Thank you.
All right, meanwhile, fire